Well, hello, my brothers and sisters, and welcome to the Living Strong broadcast where I'm Prophet Johnson. Let's go ahead and get started. This is a special report. This is special report number 1, and then we'll deal with special report number 2 because of the events that are taking place in the world today is something unprecedented. In Isaiah chapter number 53 and in verse number 1, who, he asks a question, have believed our report? Who among mankind believe that we are in and approaching what they call and what is known and what is the beast system? Who cares about the New World Order, about UFOs, about AI and Nephilims? Who cares about the working of darkness, as the Pentecostal will say, in these last and evil days? Are we rendering forces, or is it that forces are being rendered to us? This is the hour of magnification and the hour of glorification. Oh, magnify the Lord with me, the Lord of glory. So we are in a time to where something is pressing like never before. And there's an strange thing that is happening in the land. Have y'all not noticed that time is moving in quantum leap? Even to the point to where we are literally missing time if we don't watch the clock. So there's an acceleration, and except those days be shortened, even the very elect would be deceived. So in this fastest 30 minutes in broadcast, this is special report number 1, and the reason why it is called special report is because who have believed our report? And to whom is the arm of the Lord revealed? In these last days, there is a separation taking place. And this separation that is taking place is in the church. It is also given over to the fact that there shall come a great falling away. So, this falling away is because of a lack of knowledge. And when knowledge came, many rejected that knowledge. And so, what we have is something to where God is saying that Daniel said that in the last days, knowledge, many would run to and fro. I would turn there now, but I'm not going there. And that knowledge would be on an increase. So what we have is an increase of knowledge and a great falling away. And this falling away is because people are refusing to accept the moment of truth that we are living in. A big "I told you so" is coming your way. And I'll probably get fired up here in a minute. Okay? And what I'm about to reveal unto you, don't get upset with me, because this level of truth will no longer be able to be denied by any human being in America, no other human being on earth, and many of you will probably just tear me to shreds because of a truth that you are living in, that I and God have told y'all over and over and over again 1,000,000 times. There's no disputing it. There's no debate. It's right before your very eyes. And what is God doing? Saying, prophet, they can talk about everything. They can scare the bejesus out of you. But where we are right now, brothers and sisters in Christ, I'm telling y'all and letting y'all know that Father is revealing unto us the end times. We are living in it closer than ever before, and something is going on. America, here we go. Isaiah 53, verse number 1. Who hath believed our report? And to whom is the arm of the Lord revealed? For he shall grow up before him a tender plant, and as the root of a dry ground. God is going to raise up, even in these last days, people that come from a dry ground, whose heart is tender towards him, to speak level of truths into the lives of the nation and of the people like never before, even though this is talking about Christ. And as the root of a dry ground, verse number 2, Isaiah 53, he hath no form nor comeliness. Jesus is not attractive. He's not your Hollywood hunk, your John Travolta. He's only his creator. He's not this fabulous guy that you dream of. Most of you women in today's time, if you saw Jesus on the street, You wouldn't even want to go out a date with him while you sitting up there crying with your robes on, with your holiness on. You men, you wouldn't even want to hang out with him. He looked like Bone dozed them. Talking that Christian holiness smack. He hath no form, nor comeliness, likeness, attractiveness. And when we shall see him, there is no beauty that we should desire him. What's going to make you come to Christ except your sins? A man beaten and marred, a broken vessel in the midst of us all. And we say that it's okay. You know, I love the Lord. Special report. There is no beauty that we should desire him. He is despised and rejected of men. That's why the nation is going to pay a price all over the world. A man of sorrows and acquainted with grief. How many of you have been there? A person of sorrows, acquainted with grief. You talk about all the rich delicacies of the world, and those that fared sumptuously like the rich man did. All the prophets love good food, cuisine as you would call it, $300 to $500. And guess what? They called Jesus a gluttonous man and a wine bibber. Here he come. Don't want to talk about that. You see, we can talk that smack all we want, because Satan is going to feed you the riches of your delicacy in hell until your bowels burst open and your guts spill out like Judas Iscariot after he betrayed Jesus. You think, to heck with a $300 or $500. Are you crazy? I could care less about the mess. Can't find it nowhere anyway in this junk area. You don't live off of sardines. You don't live off of crackers. You don't live off of salmon in a can, mackerel, rice. You don't live off of that. You eat your pieces from your galleries, your DoorDashes. The Prophet Johnson, who live off of, I do. So I thank God if I could find a decent meal, talking about food and riches and gold and silver. You know, you're going to be tried. Wood, hay, and stubble is going to burn away. Gold, silver, and precious stone is what's going to last at that judgment seat of Christ. Why? Because who have believed our report of the Lord of Lords and the King of Kings? Okay? tumbleweeds in a dream represents a warfare. I told many of you about 30, 40 years ago, and it's on the archives of many of the messages about Father revealing unto me the Persian Gulf War. And I could see towards the ends of the world. And from the heavens drew clouds of orange and white. And from the earth or the abyss came up dark clouds. And they met each other in the air. And from the air came chariots of horses, of men dressed in medieval style. The helmet, the armor, the breastplate, all of them stood as they landed upon the earth, upon Trojan horses, the giant ones. Every man stood to be at least 7 feet tall or better. 6.5 was maybe, the guys was tall. Checking their armor, checking their gear. I won't go through the whole thing. As I saw Mystery Babylon on her chariot coming through, that in a range, in a dart, as I saw the old king of Babylon, like those of Rome, Nero, dressed with their crown and big belly. I said, what be the meaning of this? What is all of this? They said, we're preparing for battle. We're going to war. Those angels, those men didn't have no wings. They rode horses out of the supernatural, individual in chariots of horses. America, God said to remind you that this is a special report. We are preparing to go to battle. My brothers and sisters in Christ, the urgency of the emergency is that I don't know about you. I don't know about all the other prophets, prophetess, hot rods in the land. I don't know about all of where my Hebrew brothers are at, my Israelite sisters are at. I don't know about y'all African Americans and you in Africa. I don't know where y'all stand. All I can tell you is that I cannot see beyond 2025. It's almost as if God have put a veil. And even though we know that it's all approaching, something is hidden. It's like a clear plastic, a veil. We see it coming, but we can only see what's in 2024. You see. But 2025, I can't hardly see beyond that. And I've been seeing every year for 40 years. You see. My brothers and sisters in Christ, there are some bewildering internet hot rods out there. And what many of the internet hot rods are telling y'all is a deep, hidden truth, unveiled from the natural public in information. Many of them are into themselves. I laugh because some of them, act like they've been on some internet or they have known some supernatural great revelation from God all their life. Been there for 4 or 5 years and know everything, and we were the first to start out. Check Living Strong record, the truth teller. We go all the way back telling the truth before the hot rods even got there. So I laugh at the hot rods when they expose to y'all great words about evil, great words about alternative lifestyle, great words about the consumption of cannibalism. I laugh when they expose to y'all the great fear of Yahweh in his plan to destroy us and to destroy America and to allow us to go through pain and suffering. I laugh when they tell y'all the truth about the rapture while you're sitting back as fat, greedy, holy, smelly, skunkerized Christians